There wasn't really much feature development chat at CitizenCon this year, apart from a quick look at crafting. But I've watched the whole thing through 3 times now, and Rich Tyra and Chris Roberts both said some pretty wild things about when we would get features in our hands. Chris, even, as he does, threw out a date. But I've just not really heard anybody talking about this. So watch me spiral on stream, and then at the end, tell me in the comments if I'm losing my mind. I need some help on this one. Listen to this.
I want to dispel a myth right here, right now. Like, features are still being worked on quite heavily in the background from...
Quite heavily, not heavily, quite heavily, so not hugely heavy, but...
radar and scanning in FPS, the new quantum, to inventory, engineering and crafting. And all of those features are going to be coming very, very soon for players to get their hands on. And
all of those features are going to be coming very, very soon for players to get their hands on. Let's just confirm what he said again there.
And all of those features are going to be coming very, very soon for players to get their hands on.
What does he mean by get their hands on, for a start, I think is a question. He might just mean this is tech preview stuff. But what on earth does he mean saying very, very soon that they're going to get all these features in our hands? This is pre-recorded. This isn't like some slip of the tongue. This isn't some like, whoops, I just said the wrong thing on stage because I was under pressure and whatever. Why has this gone through they would have edited this tons and tons and tons. They would have checked it all over. Why does he say all of this stuff is coming very, very soon? Features that they haven't shown in this whole event. What is he thinking there? What's the purpose of what he's saying? And then when you combine it with this is what Chris says at the end, which is all even more concerning / confusing.
I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into some of what the team is cooking for the near future. Of course, we're not going to spoil everything that's currently in progress, and many features we haven't discussed today are in active development, like base building, social, and trade tools that are very much a priority. These, along with
very much priority. They didn't show anything about them, but they're very much priority.
These, along with bringing the final polished features from Squadron 42 into the persistent universe, will make next year the most exciting yet for Star Citizen.
He said base building, trade tools, social tools. These, alongside polished stuff from Squadron 42, will make next year a great year for Star Citizen. What did he exactly say?
These, along with bringing the final polished features from Squadron 42 into the persistent universe, will make next year the most exciting yet for Star Citizen.
This in some ways is a classic Chris Roberts in the next year sort of statement. But when you combine it with Rich saying, very, very soon they'll be in your hands, I'm just thinking, what on earth are they talking about? What do they mean? Do they genuinely mean they're going to start to get some of these things in the tech preview channel in the way that they kind of referred to that they would back in the day? And obviously we had last year's letter from the chairman where he was like, here's our plan. We're going to run features alongside the content delivery. We're going to do features in the EPTU, in the tech preview, and then when they're ready, they're going to come in. Is Rich referring to the fact that they're going to chuck a load of stuff into tech preview over the next year for us to test? Because when Rich says they're coming into our hands, he cannot mean that they're coming into the game, because they showed none of those things. They literally just showed crafting, and they didn't show much of crafting. I read from that because, again, this is a pre-recorded thing. This isn't a mistake or a slip. They have an intention, whether it actually will happen or not, they have an intention to start testing some of those things in the tech previews in 2026, which feels almost like unbelievable because so far they've tested almost nothing in the tech preview. They've done this year, all we had the whole year was Vulcan and the graphics changes. That was it. They said that the crafting stuff is going to come to the tech preview, as well as engineering towards the end of the year. And I'll repeat again, base building, social and trade tools are going to make next year a very exciting year. What do you read out of that? Chris can't be trusted. But the fact that Rich is saying this stuff is coming very, very soon. They always use the word soon. They sometimes say very soon. I don't think they've ever used the phrase very, very soon. That suggests to me that it can't be that far away. It can't be deep into next year. It has to be in the start of 2026. Maybe they're just words designed to send me into a spiral of excitement and then followed by a spiral of despair. Maybe that's all like, maybe they're like, oh, I know what we can do. We can throw some stuff in there at the end and it will really get people confused. But more conspiracy theories again, yeah. But maybe like the other day when I kind of got myself carried away and suddenly convinced myself that Nix was coming in 2025. And then suddenly it did come. maybe there's some big tech preview stuff coming very, very soon. Very, very soon equals the next 2 years, like always. And that is probably the wisest way to approach all of this. Maybe 2025 was the year of stability and content and everything. Maybe 2026 will be the real year of the tech preview. Chris saying next year is an actual date. He doesn't give dates anymore. He actually just gave us a date. Maybe it's bad editing because again, we're watching one more time. There's a cut here. They may have spliced two things together, so he didn't actually mean this. Okay.
Tools that are very much a priority. These, along with bringing the final...
There's a cut right there,
currently
right
in
there.
progress, trade tools that are very much a priority. These, along with bringing...
There is a cut there. He finishes that, and then there's this new thing where he says these. It's possible they could have stuffed him. They might have edited him to make him say something he didn't mean to say. But again, he will have watched all this. He will have checked all this. Do you think we'll see some of those things that he's talking about here and Richard's talking? Do you think we'll see them in the next 6 months? There's a chance it might happen in 6 months. 2, 4, absolutely no chance. You've gone crazy. In testing some of it, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Not in the game. I'm saying if you answer one, you're not saying it's coming in the game, but there'll be some form of testing in the tech preview channel. If Chris says it's coming in a year, it's not coming in a year. Well, that is true. But I thought at this point they'd stopped him. Because it's pre-recorded, they would just say, Chris, you can't say that, re-record this. So yeah, what do you think? I think there's a decent chance I'm doing that thing that you should never do with Star Citizen, and I'm taking them at their words. I think it's possible that they're just saying things that they think we might want to hear, but it's very odd to be kind of throwing these statements out there on a pre-recorded show. I don't know. Maybe we are about to get some features in our hands, whatever that means. But you've got to tell me in the comments, because I think most of you are thinking that I've lost my marbles. So yeah, let me know what you think. Is it possible that we get some features in the tech preview very, very soon? Is Chris's date there? Is there any chance of the features that he talks about, social tools and base building and all that stuff, is that possible in 2026 in any form? I don't think so. I'm just so confused at the lack of any feature stuff shown at this CitizenCon, if they're then going to deliver it into our hands. That's the thing that I'm struggling to get my head around now that I'm sitting here having thought about this for a whole day. I've literally been thinking about this the whole day. I can't see how they're suddenly going to go from nothing to then here's a load of stuff in 2026. And again, I don't think that there's any chance it's going to be ready to go in game. But even to go from nothing where we are right now to testing it in the tech preview, it seems crazy. So yeah, let me know. Tell me what I should think. I think I've been spending too much time watching Star Citizen videos and I've lost it. So yeah, let me know.